Hey everybody, Eamon Conway here from Town Fly Fishing. Today I'm going to talk to you about fly casting. It's that time of the year again. It's January here in Ireland and everybody is going to be getting ready for the upcoming season. So like tying and all sorts of stuff. But I think a lot of people neglect their fly casting. So I recommend you go and practice because your fly casting, it's a must. You need to practice, you know. So I'm going to talk to you about a few things and a few principles that I go by when I'm practicing my fly casting. So the first one is the line is the weight that loads the rod. Second one, the casting stroke is an accelerating stroke followed by a pause. The third one is the rod tip must move in a straight line. Fourth, the longer the cast, the longer the stroke. And then fifth, I'll go back, and the shorter the cast, the shorter the stroke. The fifth is the longer the cast, the longer the pause, and shorter the cast, the shorter the pause. So I'll go through each one of these now in a moment and explain each one. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so number one, the line is the weight that loads the rod. What I mean by that is the weight is in the line, so as you accelerate the rod against the weight of the stationary line, the rod will automatically load. So I'll just put the line straight out. As you lift and accelerate, the rod bends as you pull against the weight of the line. So that's number one. Number two, the casting stroke is an accelerating stroke followed by a pause. So you need to accelerate the rod. If you do not accelerate the rod against the weight of the line, the rod will not load and it will not help you get that straight rod tip pat. If you just use the same speed, the rod will create an arching motion of the rod tip, and then the line will be projected at the ground in front and at the ground behind you. So it's important that you load the rod. Alright, and then the pause. You need to stop the rod to unload the rod to project the line at your target, which is the trout. So that's number two. Okay, number three, the rod tip must move in a straight path. As I said before, we want to get a straight rod tip path to get tight, efficient loops. Be more accurate with efficient loops, so it's important that we get our rod tip straight. So by doing that, we need to accelerate the rod, and also it's nearly like, I suppose, if you're painting the ceiling, that's what people refer to, that kind of arm movement. So that's how you get your straight rod tip path, and try and achieve that as best as you can. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, so number four, the longer the cast, the longer the stroke, the shorter the cast, the shorter the stroke. Fairly basic. Okay, so really short line, short stroke. I'm barely moving my hand here or my arm. Okay, longer cast, break out a bit more line. You can see that my casting stroke is getting longer due to the more power I need to get that line out further. Okay, so principle number five, the longer the cast, the longer the pause, the shorter the cast, the shorter the pause. And what I mean by this is when you stop the rod and you pause, you need to let all the line unroll in front of you and behind you in order to achieve the full weight of the line, so you can accelerate your stroke forward or back to load the rod. So I hope these little points will help you in your fly casting. Okay, so a few other wee tips just to be aware of when you're casting or practicing your casting. For short casts, have a nice closed stance, face your target, natural alignment, and then if you're going to increase your distance, take one step forward, open your stance so you can get a longer stroke back and forth, and also be aware of a thing what we call arc, and this is the stopping points or your pauses. So what I say to kids when I'm teaching them is make the shape of the letter V with the rod. So this is going to be one side of the V, that's the forward stopping point, and this is the other side of the V, which is the rear stopping point. So if you maintain that arc, you should be able to, it'll help you with your tight loops as well. So hope this all helps. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we get another wee video up soon. So feel free to subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you later, guys.